Hi everyone, today is a very special video. I hope that you'll watch this to the end because I really feel that there's something here that at least everyone can take away from, if that makes any sense. So in this particular video, I'm going to be sharing my absolute favorite reading books. Now this is to do with spirituality and tarot and just really raising our consciousness, living the best life that we have, whether things are going right or whether things are going wrong. This is just about finding happiness and peace in our current lives. And so I really feel that there's something here that there's at least one thing I feel that everyone can take away from this, and there might be a book that you're really interested in. There could be something that I say that you might be interested in. So I would definitely recommend you to watch until the end. I actually have way more than this amount of books. I just thought that if the screen is empty, it looks a bit boring, and you might be really tempted to just click off this video. I promise you it's going to be very interesting, very exciting. I have a lot to share with you, and in all honesty, disclaimer, I have not ever really been a huge bookworm, and I think part of why I've never really read a ton of books is because I've never really enjoyed the kind of books that I was told to read, like fiction and all these other kinds of books. So to me, I love non-fiction. I love learning different things. I also just love books that are to do with self-growth and self-development, and so this is what I'm going to share with you, okay? Tarot, spirituality, self-growth, self-development, peace, these are the kinds of reading items I'm going to share with you. So we're going to start first of all with a magazine, all right? And we're going to start first of all with me showing you this magazine. So this magazine is actually called Soul and Spirit. Now, I believe it is available internationally. So you can check out the Soul and Spirit website, and this is what it looks like. It actually comes with a deck of cards most months, so I really feel that it's extremely affordable because it's actually $9.99, and you're getting a deck of cards with it most of the time, and it comes with a second magazine as well, which goes with the deck of cards. So you're actually getting something so amazing, and it's really worth it in my opinion. So if you wanted to do the subscription, I'll leave the link in the description box below. I'm not paid by them at all. I have actually been talking about this magazine for a very long time, like since I began my channel as well, and that was years ago, so okay, so this magazine is amazing because you go through and you'll find so much amazing spiritual content. You can also find these amazing websites where they sell, crystals and things like that. So you can find out places to buy different things that you perhaps are really interested in. So it talks about, favorite things. So it goes through books and crystals and sort of, face masks. It also says here as well, is there really a 13th zodiac sign? I've made a video on that as well, so do check that out if you're interested. But these are things that I know for a fact that so many of you are curious about. You've also got here, see some of the items. Look at how interesting some of these items are as well. Like that's really interesting, very unique. These are things I really honestly haven't seen anywhere else. So it's a little bit like, I guess, Vogue, where you see all the dresses and then you look at the prices and you go, oh my goodness, what? These are, this is like a spiritual version of Vogue, but it's nice because it hasn't got as many ads in it. So you've got here, find courage in a crystal ball. Then you've also got some information here on the deck that came free. But every single magazine is really special because it goes through whatever comes free with it, and then it also goes through lots of other information like, what's your angel guide oracle message, and it talks about, all these different things like learning experience, expect miracles, surrender, psychic light in the time of lockdown. These are things that I think a lot of people are very interested in. How can they go with the current times and with what's happening, and you've got questions and answers and people really talking about their perspectives as well, really shining a light on it. As you can see here, it's very in-depth. How does mediumship really work? Orbs guide us every day. It's really just really it's really beautiful. How to awaken your psychic senses. Patients were comforted by spirit guides. Do you have a spirit squatter? Boost your psychic skills with your unicorn energy, and then now to try something new. So this is an exercise that you can do. You've got a poster here which you can cut out, put on your wall. Chakra connections. I've actually got a few things on my wall which actually have the dates for Mercury retrograde and things like that. So it's really nice. There's a lot here. There's also some, psychics as well, cosmic connections. You've also got the zodiac. We'll get onto that in a second, but there's the zodiacs as well, horoscopes, there we go. Surrender to your spiritual gifts, spiritual living, just really lovely. See, there's quotes in here as well. The sixth sense is at the core of our experiences. It is what really makes experiences out of events. Choose your own story. The story of tarot, beautiful, wow. And then it goes through, tarot cards here. Anyways, the point of this is, look at this, treat your third eye chakra. So there's recipes in here as well. It's really nice. It's connecting your mind, body, your soul as a whole. It also has here, have faith, in your gifts, and nature's cauldron, why not try? So it's got some things that you can try here as well. Feng Shui talked about the moon and you, so it talks about the moon as well. Mini moon scopes. Read your rising sign. Interesting. Let's have a look. Yeah, really. And then it goes through the horoscopes as well. And what's really nice actually is towards the back of it, you've also got sort of these competitions as well. And it's really, I love it. I like this magazine so much. It's a monthly magazine. And it's special, really very special. And then you've also got here the oracle cards, which to be honest they look like this. So it talks about the numbers as well, because this is like a numerology sort of deck. So yeah, that's what we've got there. Ta-da! Okay, so yeah, as you can see, but very, very in-depth. It's not rushed. Like, this has been put together really well. So the first thing was a magazine, because I know not everybody likes reading like actual books, but magazines, it's also really amazing. I will say though, just for like the sake of saying, and also for the fact that this might help some of you, I used to work in fashion, and so the only magazine I would ever really read was like Elle, Vogue, and Porter magazine. And they're quite superficial, they're very materialistic. Like every 3 pages you come across an ad, and it just goes and goes and goes, and it's so much. And when I switched from fashion to spirituality, there's a difference, right? It's not as superficial, materialistic, and there's just so much more to it. And for me, reading this kind of material versus what I was reading before is so much, I feel, healthier for me as well. It's not to say that you can't read those magazines, it's just it makes you feel a certain way over time. So it's just something to for me to let you know of. Soul and Spirit is amazing, and the thing is, it's for everyone. I mean, I know people in high school that read this magazine, and I know people who are 70s, 80s that also love to read this magazine as well. There is no age to it necessarily, right? So when I say like high school, not like extremely young children, this is like children that are like 16, 17, sort of getting into spirituality, let's say. So right, so in terms of, let's start first of all with the other item that I want to talk about, and then I'll get into the books, because there's a lot of books here, all right? So this is actually a journal. This is actually by Amanda Rach Lee. She actually has a YouTube channel, and she is like a bullet journal artist, and she does a lot of that. She brought out her own journals, and what I love the most is that I don't have to do layouts, because she's done all of the layouts in the journal. Let me just find, because I don't want to show you my actual journal, like, obviously it's quite personal, but, she's literally done all of the layouts here, so, obviously that's what it looks like, and I'll show you actually the end one. So this is what it is. You've got a habit tracker, so you can write down different habits, and you can sort of colour accordingly, and it's really nice because, if you don't have time to like do layouts and things like that, it's nice because everything's done in advance. This is the 2020 to 2021 academic planner, just because I decided to get one in the middle of the year, so obviously, but there's like a full year one as well. Yes, it is quite bulky, but it's got so much room for you to write in, and I just think it's really lovely. In many ways, it's got quotes for each of the months, and you've just got a full view as well. So I love these kinds of journals where you can, you know, also colour them. It's very therapeutic, really thick pages. This is what I use as my current journal. You can sort of see there as well in the beginning. I've definitely written quite a lot. Ta-da! So yeah, I love this journal. I think it's really amazing because I'm obviously quite busy. I don't have time to. It's not me making excuses, but I also don't want to just sit there and make the layouts for my journals because I find it a little bit stressful. So having a journal where everything is sort of just done in advance is also quite simple, and I can add to it, I can colour in, and I don't really have to worry, you know, everything's sort of done and dusted in that sense. So it's like a doodle planner essentially, but it's really helpful. So for anyone interested, I'll leave the link down below to her store. I'm not, again, paid by her at all. I wish I was, but I'm not. She probably doesn't even have a clue who I am. Anyways, so that's totally fine. And they have so many different colours as well. I got the gold one just because it's camel, like gold, you know, like a nude colour. Alright, so that's what we've got there. Now I'm going to move on to books. So these are some of the books that I actually have. This is a book on dragons, which is really quite interesting. I will say, you know, if you're interested in dragons, this could be a very interesting book indeed. So it's the Llewellyn's Little Book of Dragons. Okay, so this was actually sent to me, hence it says this at the bottom, but it's a really interesting book indeed. Alright, all I can say about it is that there are lots of things that I didn't know about dragons and how they, you know, for example, it says, you know, when the dragons left, as dragons do, the people kept their celebrations, made them their own joyous memory. Everyone needs some dragon in their life, if only secondhand. So it's also one of like spiritual growth as well. And I think that there's just so much, there's so much that's interesting about this book that I would never have recognized if I did not get given this particular book. You know, I wouldn't just go into a bookshop and buy this book. And that's the thing about books, is that we sometimes don't know until we read it, right? So yeah, that is the first book that we have there. I also got these from the Works. They were 50p, which, let's just be honest, that's a bargain. But every single year they bring out these horoscope books, should I say, like it's a 15-month forecast. This one was 50p. This was actually for 2019, that's why it was discounted at the end of the year, but I still wanted to get it anyways, just to see how correct it actually was. So these are actually, it says Igloo books, but these are available at the Works in the UK, but just in case you're abroad and you're wondering, it just says here igloobooks.com, so I might be able to help you. They're super affordable. I also have the 2021 as well. Let's see how accurate it is. Today is the 5th of September. There we go. 5th of September, Mercury shifts into your money sector today. He is a planet associated with merchants, so now is a great chance to buy and sell. He can be like a good car salesman, and make a profit with his selling skills. Investing or selling something now is favourable. Very interesting. Okay, well, it's quite interesting. Let me just look at a specific date when something happened and see if it really points to anything around that time. Ooh, being methodical is one of your greatest gifts, but it can leave others feeling helpless. Very interesting. That is so true. Okay. Obviously, it depends on your birth charts and things like that, but I really do recommend these. These are super affordable and they're actually really fun. Like, even to give this to someone, especially if they are interested in horoscopes and things for, you know, the year ahead. I think it's a really fun and exciting sort of thing to have. And obviously, it's for the whole year, so you can wake up every morning and sort of read it, or read it at the end of the day and see how it makes you feel. It's a good way of reflecting as well. You know, not always is it going to be accurate, but a lot of the times it can sort of make you think, you know. So I think that that's quite exciting. Now, another book I got from the Works as well, which is here, is I love the works because their books are really affordable and they have so many amazing spiritual books and a lot of books to do with self-growth and also like a lot of witchy books as well. So this is one that I got which is to do with tarot, so Understanding Tarot by Liz Dean, and it was actually supposed to be $9.99, but I bought it for £4, which again, let's just talk about the fact that, you know, that's exciting. So you've got here, this is the, I believe this deck actually is called the Visconti Tarot. It's a very old traditional tarot, I believe. Okay, I'm really sorry if I, you know, butchered that in any way, shape or form. So, you know, it really goes through the history, which I think is really lovely, and it goes through the knights and the gypsies, and it goes through the origins of the arcana as well. So you've got a lot of information here on the history. I think this book is amazing for those of you that are beginners who want so much more information on tarot. So you want to know the beginning, the origins, you want to know about the minors, you want to know more about the hidden symbolism, right? And also you've got all of these other tarot cards as well and other imagery that can help you to sort of understand how it all kind of came together. So, you know, there isn't that much that's actually known about tarot, believe it or not, but there is a lot that people do know. So it's one thing to know. Tarot symbolism as well, as you can see there. And then you've got, you know, lots of different types of tarot cards. I've actually got quite a few of these different decks, and you can see the differences between them all, and it can actually be really helpful sort of seeing the differences as well. You've got some information here on the Kabbalah, which is also known to greatly influence and be a part of tarot and esoteric practices. You've got here the tarot menagerie, lion strength. You know, these are things that I have not come across in any other tarot books, okay? This tarot book has so much more information on symbolism than I have seen in any other book, and I actually went through, I think in a YouTube video I did talk about some other books as well, and that I got from the library, and they were really basic, you know, just go through the 78 cards and give you some explanations, and I was like, okay, you know, that's great, but this here takes it to a completely different meaning. So I definitely recommend this book a lot. It was also pretty affordable, as you could see, and you know, it really goes through a lot here. So what else have we got? You know, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, you know, Swiss tarot. Yes, it's got a lot here. When to read the cards, and then you've got spreads here that it goes through as well. Past, present, future. I actually have this deck. I don't know if this was called, is this the Magic of Tarot? I think it's called the Magic of Tarot. I do have this deck. In fact, it's literally right here, so I can show you. Here it is. This is the deck that it is, because I have my entire drawer of tarot cards just right next to me. So a year ahead spread. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I should do that for 2021. Who would be interested in seeing a year ahead spread exactly like we've got right here? I know I would. Oh my god, that's so exciting. Let me just put a bookmark. Okay, anyways, so yeah, it goes through all of the cards as well. So you've got the Fool here, and you've got the astrology meaning, you've got symbolism, the card combinations. So again, amazing for beginners who are wondering what certain cards mean with the other cards. And then it goes through the rest of the major arcanas, and then it goes into the minors, and the minors have less to do with it, you know, you know what I mean. And it goes through the 2s and the 3s, and you know, the illustrations are beautiful as well. So yeah, amazing book. Okay, 10 out of 10 recommend. If someone asked me, Moonlight, one book, okay, Moonlight, one book that you think I should get to do with tarot, this one. All right, this one right here, this one. Okay, now that we're done with that, let's go with another Llewellyn book. This is the Llewellyn's Little Book of Unicorns. Okay, it's something different, it's magical, it's fun, it's exciting. If you want to take yourself away to another place, this is the place to go. Okay, it is fun, it is beautiful, it is an exciting book that is just so extraordinary, and also you know, it really connects with unicorns and their energy. It's also got a lot of information here to do with mindfulness practices, crystals, chakras, dreams, magical encounters. So it's a really lovely book as a whole. You know, it really goes through that as well. So I would definitely, and it even talks about, you know, what unicorns are all about and tools of the unicorn. Like, this is a really exciting book. And so, you know, the thing I love about their books is that they have these themes like dragons, unicorns, Halloween. There is a Halloween book that I'm going to share with you in a second as well, at some point when I find it. I did have it here. Oh, it's all the way at the bottom. Let me grab it. Llewellyn's Little Book of Halloween. I love these as well. It's got, this one here has got spells and crafts, recipes. It's just so much fun. Like, I really do think that these books are so much fun. They're amazing to gift. They're all like $12.99, like US dollars. So, you know, it's just really very exciting. It even talks about like cocktails you can make here. It's just so fun. You know, it's really, it's amazing. So it talks about magic, ghosts, you know, damage control, things like that. So it's really wonderful. Totally recommend. These are fun books. You know, these are, it takes you to another world and a dimension, but it also keeps you kind of connected again to spirituality, which is fun. Got here another book, which is Kitchen Table Tarot. So it says, pull up a chair, shuffle the cards, and let's talk tarot. So I really do think that this book is really lovely. This book uses the deck, which is the Tarot Made Easy, I believe. That's the deck it uses. I have that deck in my drawer, but I've put the books on there. So so yeah, it just goes through all of the cards and talks about them. And it's great. So if you, for example, just, you know, pull some cards and you want to interpret them, you can use this book to do so. It's very simple, and it also goes through information here on sort of, you know, starting your own business here in regards to professional tarot readings, which is great. So, you know, social media, business, and things like that. So it's a really great book for those of you that want to practice tarot and actually take it a little bit more professional. Got here the 333 Oracle of Heart Wisdom. It's a really nice book. Okay, so we've got here, you know, reading for yourself, reading for others, and then it goes through numbers as well. So these are all numbers. All right. What I really like about this book is it's one of those books where you can just sort of open it on any page and sort of read what it says. So this one here says the unexpected path, you know, and it can be really actually quite exciting sort of reading through this. So it's like one of those books where you can just flick it to any page and there's something that can really stick to you in that sense. So it's an interesting book, I would say. It's one where there's 333 pathways of love, encouragement and strength which are ready to flow from the universe to the soul temple of your heart. So that is the book right there. Okay, and then we still have more, but I think we're getting to the more interesting books as well, in all honesty. So I've got this one here. This came in a magazine and it came with something, and that's why it says not for resale, because it came free with something. I can't remember what it came free with, but this is the information if anyone is, you know, interested in getting hold of this somehow. It says this book will make you happy, and I just think that this is really special. Little story, I was actually going to give this to someone very special, and I didn't in the end, and I tend to give a lot, you know, I gave a lot to this person, and never really appreciated it or valued it, and this was one book I was going to give away, and I just remember coming across it and feeling so happy that I didn't give it away to someone who didn't value it, because I don't know why, like I just felt like this book was meant to stay with me, and I'm glad I didn't give it away, because I sort of went through this book and I thought, wow, you know, this could really help this person, but it's someone that doesn't, you know, really care. So anyways, I'm glad that I have this book for myself, and it says here making time for yourself, and it also talks about, you know, behaviours and also changing behaviour and happiness and feeling low, and you know, what we can do to change that. So I just feel like this book was just supposed to stay with me. I'm so glad. Sometimes when I have, you know, extra books and things like that, because I get sent a lot of stuff, I will tend to give it to someone that I feel could do with it. But then thing is, when they don't care, it's really frustrating, right? But anyways, I'm so glad that that book stayed with me, because it's one that I think is just so important, and I'm so glad it was valued. So I've also got this book here, which is the Llewellyn's Little Book of Empathy. Okay, I love this book a lot. I think that this is one that is very significant. I actually had another copy of this as well, and I did give it away as well, and it is where it is. I actually had 3 copies. I gave one away in a giveaway a while ago. There was another one which I gave to someone who clearly never valued it, and then I have this one. And I don't have any resentment against, you know, giving it away to someone who doesn't care about it, but what I do really think is that when you have a book that is, you know, really can sort of help, I think that this is just really very, very special, because it's also to do with how it can allow us to grow and become stronger as well. So this book's gentle techniques support the mutual exchange of love and nurturance, and help renew emotional health, physical vitality, passion for life, and the ability to revive spiritual guidance. And that is why, you know, I think this book is amazing. That's why I also gave it away, because I was giving it to someone who I really believed could benefit from the amazing teachings of this book. But, you know, when they don't care, you just shouldn't bother. So I'm glad I have this book for myself as well, though. You know, eat chocolate, pray, meditate, fast. These are all things that it says in here. Empathy for healing. I just love this book so much, and I would definitely recommend this to those of you that, you know, feel bad for having empathy, or you have been treated really badly, or you've had so much empathy towards someone and nobody's cared in return. This can allow you to heal and progress and move forward, and I promise you, you'll feel so much happier and so much better after reading this particular book. Note to self, okay, don't give away things to people that don't value them. I'm just going to say that because, you know, over time, especially with certain friends and people, they just, you know, have taken so much for granted and advantage that, you know, it's not nice, you know. I'm sure there are so many of you that would appreciate me giving you books instead, right? And you'd be like, oh my god, I totally read that and stuff. But just something I want to mention. Maybe some of you are in similar situations. We've got this amazing book here, which is Crystal Stars 1111. So it says crystalline activations with the stellar light codes. This book, okay, this book is amazing for healing. Okay, actually, I just like literally flip to it, healing process. And it is just really, really wonderful because it also talks about crystals as well. And it is such an amazing book, which is to do with sort of the universe guiding you. You know, the universe is conspiring for your success. And I just think that that's just a really strong energy. And also, on top of that as well, if you're going through a hard time, like, this can really help you to sort of move forward and feel stronger about yourself. And you've also got these coloured images here of the crystal stars, and it can just make you feel so much, you know, better as well. Like, this is really beautiful as well. Look at that. Oh my god. Wow. 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 So yeah, I really love this book a lot, and I think that it can help a lot with healing, connecting you to your stars, connecting you to just being the best version of yourself. In all honesty, I totally recommend this book a ton. So that's what we've got there. It's a really great one which connects you to the universe, and also crystals and healing and positive energy. We've got this one here which says Modern Witch. Okay, so ta-da, that's what we've got right here. This is great because it's got some spells and some workings as well. So it's quite exciting, it's quite interesting. I actually was sent this a while ago. I don't really practice witchcraft, I will just say that, but I love learning and seeing how people do it. So, you know, you've got some magical workings in here as well. So this was supposed to be released in February 2020. So by now, I do believe that this should be made into a book. Okay, so if anyone is interested in finding it, again, this was sent to me. It's, you know, sort of like drafts, I guess, in that sense. All right, and the next set of books that I have are probably my favourite. I got these from the library, and I keep renewing them because I keep reading through so many of them, and I go through sort of phases of like reading through one, and then reading through another, and then come back to another. So what we have here is So it actually has my bookmark in it. This is the Emotional Sensitivity and Intensity book. It says how to manage emotions as a highly sensitive person. So as you can probably tell, I am a HSP. I'm a highly sensitive person, and this book is amazing because it talks about the gift of being a HSPC rather than HSP, rather than it, making you feel like really not good for being a highly sensitive person. It just talks about empathy. It talks about how it makes you different from others and how you can use that as power and how it can actually, transform your life at the same time. I actually have my bookmark. This is actually from, those of you might recognise this particular deck. This is the Groovy Weight deck, and when I was sent that particular deck, they also sent me a bookmark, which was really helpful. So just use that. Just for those of you that are wondering, like, why have you got tarot cards on your bookmarks? So this is an amazing, amazing book, and it really does it talks about like working with your triggers, and the bit that I'm actually up at is about, having thin boundaries and trauma-induced emotional sensitivities. It also talks about your gift and how to work with it, and having deep empathy and sensitivity, and how that doesn't actually make you a bad person. It just means that you're a lot more aware as well. So that's a book that I've been really getting into as well, and I think it's amazing. So that's that one. Another book that I absolutely adore and just love, I've gotten about that much through it. Also, this bookmark here is from Book Depository. They always send free bookmarks with orders. I actually buy tarot cards off of the Book Depository website. They have an amazing selection of tarot cards and they're pretty affordable. So anytime I buy tarot cards, I always get a free bookmark because it is a book website, right? Bookshop website, and it's amazing. So yeah, you get a free bookmark. So this one here is called New Beginnings, right? 10 teachings to make the rest of your life the best of your life. So for those of you who are struggling or stuck, or you feel like you're not in the place you want to be, this is about not looking into the past, digging into the past. This is actually about fueling your future and fueling your present moment, and really just making the rest of your life the best of your life. That's literally it, especially for people that have gone through heartbreak, heartache. I got this from the library, by the way. I just feel that this is about moving forward. This is about new beginnings. It's about new chapters, and it's about not being upset that there's a new chapter taking place, but instead knowing that you can move forward. And I just feel like this is absolutely amazing. It says here, be here now, and harnessing the power of the universe requires your attention to be aligned with the point in space and time which the universe exists and operates. And it says here, you're not alone. Stop looking outside for inner experiences. Being peaceful does not make you passive. What do you want to be from now on? And it just goes through so much information here, like you are worthy, being kind and gentle towards yourself, encouraging yourself like a good friend would, and appreciating that you can create yourself something new. And the thing is, it also goes through exercises as well, so it's not just like telling you what you should feel and things. It's actually going through the motions of it, or the notions of it. So it says orange trees don't grow peaches, and then at the book, at the back as well, as you go through the chapters, it has it talks about the pages to go to. And so when you go to these particular pages, it has exercises, so you can actually ask yourself these questions. And I did this myself as well, and it helped so much. Especially when you go through hard times or difficult times, you might feel like you're not good enough or not worthy enough and things like that. And then this exercise was actually very eye-opening, where it says, write down 2 things that your parents said about you. And I thought about the most positive things. It says 2 things your teachers said about you, and I thought about the most positive things. And then I'd look at that list, and I'd be like, wow, okay, I've actually got a lot to be really thankful for in terms of who I am. So it's an amazing book that just really helps you to understand more of yourself. And it talks about all of these questions you can ask yourself, whether it's to do with health and vitality, career and work, relationships with friends and families, your love life, your personal growth and development, contribution to others, spirituality, and things that you love, things that you hate, what is meant to be, people that other people, and then your team. Okay, and it's just an amazing book. 10 out of 10 recommend this book. If you can get it at a library or online, This book, I think that even if you read it 10 times over, you would probably want to read it the 11th. That's the kind of book that it is, because in all honesty, I haven't finished the book, but for sure, like from what I've already read of it, it's amazing. And this has actually, this book, I believe the author has done a bunch of retreats across the world to help lots of people as well. So she got a lot of other book deals and things like that. So yeah, it's a very well written book. That's what I would say. Okay, another book. I mean, I'm still getting through those, but I just know from what I've read that they are amazing. So this one really only just sort of started, in all honesty. This one here is Managing Your Emotions instead of your emotions managing you. So I haven't really read this one properly, but I just, like, from what I have began to understand is that this is really about, not being led by your feelings and healing, and also just, it's got more of an outlook here in regards to sort of God and the universe, and I think that is also quite significant. It's also about deception, when people don't treat you right, and how that really just affects you a lot when you're very, very emotional, but then also to realise that perhaps the other person, it just teaches you a lot, basically, I believe in that sense. So it's also about, how emotions play a vital role in us all being healthy and happy and living successful lives, and how we can not be, constantly led by our feelings and codependency and things like that. And I just thought that was really interesting to actually learn about. There's always something unique to learn about here, so I thought that was quite interesting. Oh, I love this book. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me just tell you about this, okay? This book is amazing. How to Find Your Inner Peace. This book has tons of exercises and activities that you can do, which I think is just very, very special. So this particular book is just amazing in terms of, discovering yourself, how to manage anxiety and emotions. I love the illustrations. It talks about yourself and spirituality. It talks about perception and reality. It also talks about, the 4 pillars and change, yourself and other people, limitless energy. And then on this side, it has an activity that you can do, which again, I just love the fact that it's connecting you to things that you can do. So you've got summer, and then the power of light. You've got here autumn and the fruits of promise. And again, I love this book so much. I just think that it is so wow. What can I say? This book is amazing for those of you that you want to find inner peace and you want to learn a lot about different aspects of life. So you've got karma as well. So a lot of it is explained in this. There's so much that's explained in here. There's different aspects of different philosophies and religions, like Buddhism and Hinduism, that is explained in here, landscape and the senses, and just really being able to find yourself. Talks a lot about ego as well, change. It's amazing. This book, okay, Learn to Find Your Inner Peace. Great book. That's one I have read. Okay, another one here, which I am pretty much, I'd say that's like 3/4 of the way through. Amazing. Okay, Happiness Now. This book will make you feel happy as soon as you read it. As soon as you start reading it and you start to get through it, you will feel so much happier and so much more content. Timeless wisdom for feeling good fast. It doesn't lie. It's so true. I mean, it's just amazing. It says, although unhappiness feels so permanent, is always transient, and unhappiness is fear, and talks about love and fear, and pain is your only curve, and no amount of suffering can buy you any amount of happiness, and healing the suffering ethic, and it kind of talks about are you trying too hard to be happy, and how to be happy, and it's an amazing book that really just goes through mentality, and also things that take away your happiness, which technically shouldn't be taken away, things like envy and jealousy, comparing yourself to others, self-esteem, and how you can also work through that, like nothing is ever enough, and that's you determining that something is not enough, rather than someone else actually saying that it's not enough. And I mean, people might tell you that you're not enough, but again, that's them defining something and then you taking it on board. So, you know, this is an amazing, amazing book. I totally highly recommend this. I mean, it's very powerful and it's packed with a lot of good energy. So it's a very good one indeed. Okay, we've got some astrology as well. I'm almost at the end. Panic not everybody. I'm always almost at the end. Astrology for dummies. This series actually tends to be everywhere, and it's like the dummies series where it teaches you like everything, like it says like fashion for dummies, or this for dummies, that for dummies, like literally any topic, it's, you know, they have a book on it. So I decided to get this particular book. It's pretty good. It really does go through a lot. Look at that, right? It talks about the elements, it talks about the body, it talks about the zodiac signs, of course, talks about all the dates and constellations, and it goes through the basics and the information on everything, and then it starts to then talk about the constellations. So you've got the constellation of Leo, and interesting enough, it also gives you examples here. So for example, it says Meghan Markle, you know, Leo in action. So it kind of takes examples and gives you some famous people who are also in that sign, and it also gives you the chart as well, which is very, very interesting. So it's a really nice energy, and it's definitely something that is quite lovely in that sense, especially if you're looking to get into astrology or you just want to learn a little bit more. It talks about opening businesses, scheduling meetings, throwing parties, like, you know, times to do certain things. Also, if you're into celebrities, it has a lot. It has a lot of that in there. Okay, so astrology for dummies. Also, I've been getting into runes and, you know, runic astrology as well. So before I get into that, actually, I've got this book here, which is Symbols, Signs and Visual Codes. This is amazing. Oh my god, you guys, this book is literally full of so much information. It talks about numbers, it talks about history, it talks about, I mean, it just goes through so much, and I really just think that this is very, very special. So it talks about lots of different aspects, like the circle. It talks about triangles and squares, and, you know, what it essentially means. You've got here a lot to do, you know, with the sun and what it sort of means in history. You've got the moon and, you know, what the moon also symbolises. You've got here the stars. So especially because I read tarot as well, a lot of this can have, you know, a lot of meaning, of course. So, you know, you've got the gods and the goddesses, heaven and hell, you know, so it just keeps going. But this is an amazing, amazing book, especially learning sort of codes and symbols, and it's amazing. So yeah, the human body, sea oracles and divination, goes through that, mandalas, yantras, labyrinths and mazes. Yeah, it's an amazing, amazing book. Totally recommend it. So this is what it's called: Symbols, Signs and Visual Codes. I mean, the book itself, right, from the cover, it kind of just gives you an insight as to what you're going to get inside, and it's got so much information on the actual book as well. So I just love the fact that the cover of this book really does illustrate in many ways what you're going to get inside of it. And see, you just got so much going on. So it was that really excited me. And was very interesting as well. Okay, so cool. That's what we got there. And then the last few books are these ones. Okay, so runic astrology. Been trying to find out a lot more about runes, and really trying to get into it, because runes are something that really have to be studied quite carefully. And so before I ever get into that, I need to know 100% what I'm doing with it. It's not, I mean, it's not really like tarot cards. You know, you have to learn a lot more about it, for sure. So it's very specific. So of course, I'm trying to learn about it. I haven't read this book, but I figured it would be really helpful. You know, it's got a lot of information here, so yeah, that's the book that I am going to get into. Is it good? Well, I mean, I will say that I don't think anyone has actually, no one's actually very, I mean, I don't think many people have actually read this particular book because inside of it there's no stamps on it, so well, we're gonna see. But anyways, if anyone is interested in sort of runes, then this might help you. But I thought I would include that anyways. Another book as well, which I guess I have to give a little bit of a disclaimer for. I'm not into the black arts. I don't recommend it, but I wanted to know about it, right? So sometimes being educated on a topic and how it works can actually be much better than people just saying like, oh no, it's bad, you know, it's bad. But I want to know, well, I know why it's bad, but also at the same time, I want to know, you know, what they do and things like that, because it gives me more of an understanding as well. So just, you know, mentioning that this is a book that I'm going to be reading purely for educating myself on what it, you know, what the bigger picture is, because I know quite a lot about it already, but I don't obviously practice it. I'm not going to be practicing it, but I want to gain more information. So this is about the black arts. And again, just want to mention, I don't recommend it. I don't practice it. I don't think that it's something that anyone should have to get into for many reasons. Karmically, very, very bad. It does not have good energy, and a lot of people ruin their lives by practicing black magic and the black arts. Okay, so I just want to mention that. But this is actually more so a book which is about the history of witchcraft, demonology, astrology, alchemy, and other mystical practices throughout the ages. So it actually just kind of is a step-by-step process of sort of showing the process of it all and what it means. So yes, it's more so kind of the way in which it works. So that's what I'm going to be getting into. And then the last one here is Millionaire Women, Millionaire You. I just thought this would be a really uplifting book. It also talks about sort of business and debt and things like that, which I thought was really, really interesting. And it's kind of like an interview inside, but I just thought this would be really quite motivational, and also I can learn a lot about, you know, business and things like that as I go along, and, you know, debt and all sorts. So it is very, very interesting. Actually, one of the first things it says in here is, what was the single turning point in your life that turned things around? And she said, I think the biggest thing for me was discovering the law of attraction, and we'll leave it at that, because this is not necessarily like a spiritual book or anything, but you can tell, right, how spirituality sort of just still comes into it all. So yes, that is my entire the best books kind of series. I really hope that you enjoy this. I know it was very long, and I don't know how many of you have really stuck through it, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you could take something away from this that perhaps helped you, whether it's, you know, a fun kind of a book, whether it's a magazine or journaling or something that you are really interested in. There's so many types of books, and there are so many. These are some of my favourite right now, and also ones that I'm reading and ones that I haven't yet read as well that I need to still get into. But I know for a fact that from what I've seen, I really do love these books, and that's what we've got. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and do take care.